Grand Rising, family, Grand Rising. I thought I'd come outside, but it seems like it's getting ready to rain. Let me get in. All right, family, all right. Give me 1 second. All right, Grand Rising, family, Grand Rising. I hope all is well with you all. Let's see. So, I wanted to come to you all in the morning, have a little talk. You know, every now and then. Ooh, excuse me, it's raining out there. Look. Crazy Florida weather. But every now and then, I like to come to y'all with a little lecture or a little talk. Just me and you all. So, let's talk. All right, family. It's a lot going on, family, right? It's a lot going on, family, right? Whew. Shit's crazy. Shit's crazy. We have an Omicron variant, right? We got an Omicron. Oh, shit's crazy. Boy, hide your kids, hide your wife, motherfucker. You see my face? Alright. Let's talk. So, how y'all been preparing? How you doing? What I want to talk to you all about, and I'm finna sit down. I'm walking through here like a mad woman. Alright. 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 Okay, family, so let's have this discussion now that I'm seated. It's getting real out here. And, normally I wouldn't even do this type of discussion, but I just want to come to you all and we need to talk. Tribe, we need to talk, family. So, we got this new Omicron variant. We got the people of South Africa and the people all over Africa travel ban. Other heavily melanated countries, New Guinea, places like that where people with heavy melanin travel bans. Let me explain to you what's going the heck on. Okay? They want you to believe that there's a such thing as this coronavirus and all of these variants and stuff, but let me help you to understand something. I'm going to give you an example. Think about LeBron James. He just took a test, right? It was negative. Then he took another one. It was positive. Then they did what? They quarantined him, and then he had to keep on taking tests until he tested negative, and then they found out that he had a false positive. Now, you ask yourself this question. How many people have gotten a false positive test? I will tell you that several people have gotten false positive tests. How do I know this? Because the PCR, polymerase chain reaction test, is faulty, and it was never designed to be a diagnostic test. What does that mean? That means it was never designed to diagnose a disease. Why can't you do that? Because we all have similar sequences in our RNA, DNA. We all have some similar sequences. And the way that they base this test, they're not doing enough cycles to really tell you what they have. Because if you don't do enough cycles of that reaction, I can basically say anything is the corona. I could take a piece of leaf and run it and find a similar sequence in that might be in, All humans have similar sequences, so you can't trust that. That's why you're getting all of them false positives, because the test is trash. Okay, but moving on. And number two, can somebody please, and you more than welcome to get on in this post. Excuse me, I know my hair everywhere, Wild Woman Monday, but can somebody please show me where they've actually isolated this virus in a lab? Because from my understanding, I read about a gentleman in Canada. I can't think of what his name is right now, but he actually took the government to court and won because they could not bring the isolated virus to they could not show the isolated virus on film, nothing. The whole government, they just dismissed the case. They didn't even ask the dude no question. He just said, show me the evidence that it exists. And they could not. But they got all of y'all running around here with your heads cut off, telling you to vaccinate your kids, vaccinate your wife, vaccinate your grandma, take a booster, take a pill. This is some bullshit, y'all. Y'all better wake the hell up. Omicron. Man, it's the illusion, bruh. It's the illusion. Now they telling you what? They telling you that you getting coronal mass ejections from the sun. Turn off the news and look to nature right now. Damn near every volcano in the world is active right now, or becoming active. There are earthquakes, tremors everywhere. Iceland has been tremoring since damn 2018, nonstop. Parts of Greenland too, I think, up there. Y'all better wake up. You got earthquake. My mom said it was some tremors even felt in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, out there by Ardmore. But she said she ain't feel it over in East Winston, but they had some in Ardmore. That's real interesting. And then she told me that Pilot Mountain is like, the mountain is on fire. Listen to me, y'all. That's not nobody throwing no match out there, y'all. Pay attention. We in the middle of winter. It's cold. Forest fires start in the summer. Cold viruses run high now, but just understand what I'm saying. Forest fires, that's summertime shit. You got that shit on fire right now. So ask yourself this question. Why is the ground hot enough to support fire? Because it's fire up under the earth creating that, y'all. That's the damn. Y'all better pay attention. Some of these mountains is getting ready to become active. They was never, y'all gotta understand, them mountains is great tree stumps, yo. Those ain't just no regular mountains. Some of them mountains were actually trees that contain plasma energy, yo, that went out like, look. That shit got to come back. This stuff got to come back, y'all. That's all that's finna happen. This earth, it have to transform back to what it was before it got destroyed, y'all. What we living in right now is nothing compared to what this earth was. But anyway, okay, so let me go back because I'm getting sidetracked and I didn't mean to go there. But sometimes, I be rambling, I be just letting stuff off. But back to where I was at. So let's go back. So what were we talking about? We were talking about Omicron. If you go up and you look at Old English etymology, Omicron means omega. Now, a lot of you all who are conscious in the conscious community already have made this tie. I'm just finna help people who might not be in the conscious community, who might not have heard it like this. I'm just going to explain it to you in a way that you can understand. Listen, you have animalistic DNA, animalistic proteins that attach to your red blood cells. Those are known as antigens, A, B, Rh positive. The reason why they're called antigens is just that. or proteins or whatever. I'm sorry. The reason why they're called proteins, they're not antigens, but the reason why they're called proteins is because they're on that red blood cell and they're doing whatever they're doing. But what these proteins help with is how your red blood cells harness the frequency of energy. Now, understand this fact. A lot of us don't have to eat. It was a time when man was not having to eat all of these meals. This is something that is new. This is not something that was within our nature, because we can actually harness the power of the sun like a plant through our melanin, which reconfigures and rotates the electromagnetic frequencies of the sun, empowers our cells. So we've conditioned our bodies to eat animal fat, to try to digest animal fat, which is killing us, which is clogging our arteries and not causing our body to be in tune and making us more animalistic. We are not animals. We don't, when you consume animal blood, you messing yourself up. And I'm finna explain this. Omega frequency from the sun. It's a high frequency, okay, of plasma energy. What do you have inside of your body? You have blood plasma. So that plasma energy is going to hit your blood plasma. Depending on how many proteins you have on your red blood cell, that plasma energy can rotate in a fast way, or it can't rotate at all, and it's going to cause the red blood cell to burst. It's going to cause inflammation. Where do red blood cells do the most information carriage? In your chest, in your lungs. That's where oxygen exchange is. They give up an electron for oxygen. Understand this fact, what I just said to you. They give up an electron for oxygen in your lungs. So if you got a higher frequency and your red blood cells can't give up that energy, it don't flow, it's gonna die. And that's what the sun doing to everybody who has animalistic blood. What is animalistic blood? I'm gonna explain it to you from a scientific standpoint. If you Google any article, they will tell you that people who are less susceptible are Rh negative, O, and AB. And the people who are more susceptible have Rh positive, A or B blood. Now understand this fact. And I need you to understand this fact. Well, those are the different proteins on your red blood cells. Rh positive means rhesus protein. That comes from a rhesus monkey. That means that that person has an ancestor who had some rhesus monkey DNA in them. But not all of us have that, because we all were not spliced with animals. Genetic modification ain't nothing new. That's what y'all gotta understand. And it's all about your bloodline. This shit is real. Why you think them white people up in England and stuff only mate with they self and stuff, and they real protective about their blood? Hell, Queen Diana wouldn't even take regular people blood. She would travel with her blood. Why is it so important? Because that's why it's so important, because it carries your spiritual connection, and that's what's going to give you your God-like abilities, your telepathy, your levitation. I just posted a video showing a dude using the ethers. We are non-ether beings. They banned the use of ether. Back in the 1800s or something like that, they banned the use of ether. That's us. They killed all the alchemists, the people who knew what time it was. They took their kids and indoctrinated them into this shit. And now where we at now. And y'all think this Bible is real. That Bible is nothing more than a book of astrology. Think about this. You got Jesus Christ with a big ass sun behind his head, imitating Heru, but that's the false Messiah. You better wake up. And then you got 12 disciples. The 12 zodiacs, y'all. If you look at all of them, they're the 12 zodiacs. That book was called, it's from the Helios Biblos. It's from a whole bunch of different ancient texts all put together. It has all type of symbolisms and codes in it. But y'all up here taking it literally, thinking these people really existed. Y'all crazy. Them people didn't really exist. It's something for something else. And unless you know the code, you ain't going to even understand what you reading in that Bible. That's why you got that nigga up in that pulpit misleading the flock. He reading it. He got you up in there feeling good. Devil worshiping bastards. Man, they ain't nothing. Excuse me. Because that's what they are. You in there worshiping Satan. And don't nobody want to really keep it real. But it's time to have a real conversation with y'all. Because that wasn't y'all ancestor stuff. We weren't worshiping no damn Jesus Christ. That's the damn one of them funky ass slave ships they brought your people over here on. And you got the nerve to be up in church with your hands all up, praising some mess like that. And then you wonder why you're oppressed. You calling down them demons on you up in the church. These Catholic people raping kids and stuff. What's wrong with y'all? These government officials raping kids and stuff, drinking baby blood and stuff, and y'all still out here. These Hollywood celebrities out here fucking and raping girls and stuff, all kind of crazy shit, and y'all still out here praising these people. Y'all still out here acting like this earth ain't about to end in the way we know it, and you gonna pay. Don't think because you got melanin you safe. If you ain't got no ancestral protection, it's over for you. It's over for you, period. It ain't gonna matter where you at. If these people up here telling you prepare, it don't matter where you gonna be at, yo. Either you gonna ascend or you not. And if your body ain't ready for it, you gonna come out this flesh because the universe ain't got no choice. It ain't got time to wait on y'all no more to wake up. We ain't got time to wait on y'all no more. Now, let me go back to it. You know, I just get a little worked up because y'all acting like real nonchalant. Like, you know, like we not supposed to be out here linked up. Like we not supposed to be out here, really out here protecting the earth. What you think they gave us all? What you think we got all these powers for? What you think we created all of this for? Why you think we got control of the animals? The animals are just us. They different aspects of us. We created those animals in different aspects to help us because we knew as we fell in frequency that our senses, you understand? Like we knew that, and we needed animals to have the animalistic because we was godlike. So that's why animals got super senses, and that's why we use them, because the more you attach to this realm with emotions and feelings, the less of your God abilities. Like you gotta give it up. You can't be animalistic and godlike at the same time. So that's the whole reason why the animals is here. That's why we use them in nature. Alligators, bears, we command all of those because they aspects of us. Your fingerprint is literally a tree stump. They showed you in the avatar, yo. They showed you. Them people was using their locks connected to the tree. That's whole everybody ancestral information. They destroy all of our great trees, yo. Look at them mountains. Them is our great trees. Them mesas, them are great trees, man. Them had like eons of fucking information in them. They done changed the atmosphere. We rusting, turning brown. Y'all better wake up. Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to the omega frequency though, because I need to get through this. All right. So let's get through this. So, all right. So I think I was at, if you have the RH positive, A or B, you're in more of a situation than people who have O, AB blood, and a RH negative, or any of those combinations, because of that rhesus monkey gene, okay? And all of those proteins. The more proteins you got, the harder it's going to be on your red blood cell, the harder it's going to be for your red blood cell to change the configuration. Now, it's going to depend on the ratio. The ratio of how much animalistic DNA you have to godlike DNA. And if you got a more godlike DNA, it'll overpower that, and it will reprogram that other stuff, and you'll get reprogrammed, and you'll be fine. And that's why you'll suffer a little from COVID, and then you get over it. What they telling you is COVID, but it's not COVID. It's just the higher frequency of the sun and your body adjusting and using that energy. And if you notice, some of us, you may be, not as hungry anymore. When we get those corona ejections, you may notice that you feel fatigued, but then you have a bunch of energy, things like that, night sweating, things of that nature, maybe high weight loss, maybe you're starting to get the ringing, or it goes in waves, you understand? But that's all the sun. Like, I don't want to go into all the details of it, but this. Listen, the more animal blood that you have in your body, the worse you're going to suffer from this. So if you're carnivorous, if you're eating a lot of meat with animal fats, you're going to be more susceptible to the sun's rays in a negative way, because you have all of that animal protein and stuff in you. You can't absorb the energy, the frequency. And so, chicken blood, beef, all of those animals are not natural to the earth. Understand this fact. They have been genetically modified. Every animal that you're eating right now is not how that animal was in its natural form. A lot of that stuff is GMO. Cows are GMO. Chicken are GMO. Lambs are GMO. Everything that you could get as a pack of meat is just been genetically modified. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but I'm just keeping it 100% real. And y'all eating that shit. And you're going to get what you're going to get. Like, that's the way I look at it. So, maybe this lecture was all over the place. I don't know. Maybe some of you all can take what I'm saying and get something from it. But basically what's going on, they don't want them people coming over here from Africa. They don't want us going over there, because the Africans is feeding off of that omega frequency, yo. And it's hitting them. And it's hitting us over here too. The ones of us who haven't got vaccinated and altered our red blood cells and altered our DNA, our mRNA. But for the ones of y'all that altered it, honestly, I'm not getting ready to sit here and act like I know what they done to y'all, because I don't. But I know that they done went in there and done something where you can't feed off of this like me. Because I know, I know what's going on with me. And I know what I'm doing. And I know it's for real. And if you ain't having no experiences like that for real, you better, if you ain't with your ancestors, that's probably why. If you ain't tapping in your power, they only gonna bless the ones with power that's gonna save their bloodline. If you ain't saving the bloodline, they gonna let you go. They gonna let you go. But it's not a bad thing, because we're immortal. But they're going to let you go. You're going to have to shed this flesh and be forced into the 5D. That's the whole point. Now, they want you to be able to keep this body. This is my last message for you. They want you to be able to keep this flesh. But understand this fact. All of us not going to be able to keep this flesh because your body's too polluted. You can't get the signal. So you got to shed it and go back to soul. S-O-L. Where S-O-U-L came from. S-O-U-U-L. You came from soul, S-O-L, which is also the sun, through that portal. So if you can't communicate with that, if it's sending you signals, boom, 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 bombarding your body, trying to wake you up from dormancy, like it's waking up everything in nature. It's using the plasma energy to get us back where we need to be. The earth is going to change forever. All these volcanoes getting ready to erupt, the whole everything. And it's trying to get you ready for that. But if you're not ready, you're not talking to your ancestors, you ain't got your instructions for where you need to be, you give them no choice. All right. And on that note, peace and love. Peace and love.